we've seen, Patrick, the One Nation Party, our One Nation Party, trying to do here what Nigel Farage's Reform Party is trying to do in Britain, like come from virtually nowhere to threaten the big parties and do something about immigration and these net zero policies as well. In fact, Reform is now leading in the polls in Britain, has for quite a while now, and has been luring across politicians from the Conservatives. This week you've had former Home Secretary Suella Braverman. She was the third sitting Conservative MP now to defect to Reform. Here she is.
And there is only one man in British politics who has been courageously consistent for his country, and that man is Nigel Farage.
And Patrick, of course, someone in the Conservative Party then leaked how sad it was that she did this when the party had nobly helped her with her mental issues, which I thought was a very low blow. But how important is her switching of parties?
Yeah, well, it's very important. I mean, the only real surprise about this is that it's taken us so long, to be honest with you, because Suella Braverman was someone who was incredibly outspoken and has been on the right side of history, not just when it comes to legal immigration, but also illegal immigration and those kind of Palestine hate marches that we've been seeing ravaging this country, or certainly were anyway, for a few years before. She was called all sorts of names. She was hounded out ultimately as well. So for her to go over to Farage is very much a visible sign, actually, of how a lot of what we might regard as true Conservatives haven't really changed, but the party's left them. And so their natural home now is, of course, Reform under Nigel Farage. So that's where they're all going at the moment. The one thing I would say is that obviously Nigel Farage is seen as an anti-establishment figure. He is really a bit of an anti-establishment figure. They need to be a little bit careful, of course, that they don't just keep getting in old people who've already been in politics, because the problem, the critique that will be levelled at them is that these people were ultimately responsible for the demise of Britain when they were in power. So people are treating some of them with a bit of scepticism, but not Suella. She's always been very, very consistent on her views, and like I said, it's more the Conservative Party's left her than the other way around, really.
And it's also she's useful to help Nigel Farage deflect accusations of racism. I think that is also helpful. The BBC, speaking of racism, is under fire. It's been accused for a long time now of being anti-Israel, even anti-Semitic. It's just been ridiculous. But on Tuesday, it marked the World Holocaust Remembrance Day. But guess which word it kept not saying? Here it is. Have a listen.
Today marks Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
Today marks Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
6 million people. Patrick, what was the missing word and why was it missing?
Well, the missing word, Andrew, is, of course, Jews. And it was missing because there's an anti-Semitic, idiotic mind virus that affects our state broadcaster. Even on Holocaust Memorial Day, they're incapable of seeing Jews as victims. They also allowed a bloke wearing a keffiyeh to come on to one of their breakfast shows on Holocaust Memorial Day. Look, the BBC has been accused of institutional anti-Semitism. It allowed the son of a Hamas minister to narrate a documentary. They should be on high alert. And that will have gone through several different layers of production before going on air, which tells you everything you need to know about the entire mind virus at that institution. It really is devastating. It's no wonder that people are refusing to pay their licence fee in droves.
Yeah, what's telling there, Patrick, is that so many newsreaders read the same script, so many producers would have seen the same script, and not one said, wait a minute.
Yeah, obviously, this is it. I mean, it's obvious to you and I, dare I say, it's obvious to everyone at the wonderful Sky Australia. It'll be obvious to everyone at GB News, but it's not obvious to everyone at the BBC. And people should be very, very concerned about that. I think that tells you a huge amount, really, about what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, BBC staff at one point had a day where staff were encouraged to wear the colours of the Palestinian flag and go into work. These are the kind of people that we are talking about, really.
Patrick Christys, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.